Hi, this is Autotron Prime. I am going to show you some simple fixes that I did on my MP-10U Earth Commander Ultra Magnus. This is the KO of MP-10 and the color, obviously colored white version. The fixes that I'm going to explain have to do with the chest gap. Mine at first didn't seem too bad, and then I realized one of the pins wasn't in all the way on the bumper hinge. After I pushed that pin in all the way, I could no longer pretty much close the chest. There was just no way. So I started fiddling around with the figure. I found some interference areas, and then I also found an issue with the pin sets themselves that are in the hinging chrome bumper. So if you want to get your MP-10U, or hopefully any of your other MP-10 figures to get the chest gap closed, hopefully this may help you out. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and open them up and show you what I found on my version of the KO. So the first thing I found was, I think most people have noticed, is that the chrome bumper here contacts the window, and when that happens it pushes out on the top side of the window. The bottom you can get to snap in pretty close, and you end up with something akin to this. And that's pretty much the best I could get mine. Now, massage it a little bit, and I have a fairly closed gap there. Looks just as good as the real MP-10s that I own. So the first thing I'm going to have to show you has to do with inside the figure's back spine. And I'll go ahead and give me a second, crack this open here. So I'm going to try to get this on camera the best I can, and I'll point it out first. This area of the spine here, when it moves up and into position and contacts this back body, it's going to hit. At least on mine it did. And so what I did is I took a file, just a standard small flat file, and opened the chest up, got access to this back spine here, and just went all the way up and down. Just literally took off, I don't know, an extra 30-40 thousandths of an inch, just enough so that when it came all the way back you could actually see a gap in here, because that's not initially what's holding things up. Once that's cleared out, there's another item that is holding things up, and I'll point that out here. Inside there is also a curve. And you'll see this curvature here, right next to that screw hole that holds the front grille in. You can see on mine's nice and smooth, but there was a big giant cutout there, or protrusion I should say, that was sticking out. That actually makes contact up here and causes another interference issue, keeping the bumper pushed forward and into those windows. So I shaved those down, and I got a pretty good tight fit. And as I was looking at the figure and I looked down, I noticed there was a pin protruding out this side, and it's one of the pins that holds this bumper assembly in place. There's one pin that goes through here and a pin that goes through here. And so when I pushed it back in, all of a sudden now the bumper stuck out even more, because apparently it had some give in it, and I couldn't get the doors closed to save my life. So I decided to fix it. And what we need to do is pretty simple. We pop out this pin here, and we pop out this pin here, and we're going to take these two pieces out. And inside here you've got a 75 thousandths diameter hole on both sides. What we're going to do is we're going to actually open those up to 90 thousandths or 91 thousandths, depending on the drill bit you have. And then we're just going to push the pins back in. And what is that going to do? that's going to allow this mid section here a little bit of movement, literally 20 thousandths of movement, and it's going to be just enough so that when you close the windows, it's going to be able to push back and just give it 20 thousandths of an inch of relief. That's all it's going to take to get our windows to close properly. The only downfall now is that this thing opens very easily. I don't know on your KO, but on mine and even on my original real MP-10s, this piece is very difficult to open and close. I can't do that with one finger on my real MP-10s. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take those pins out. I've already popped mine out. You come from the outside. Okay, so I had to pause there for a second to get a different tool. I've got just a pin that I'm going to go ahead and push through this hole here. Kind of push that pin right out. It may take a little bit of effort to get it out. These are not knurled. What that means is they're going to have little serrations on the end of the pin. These are not. So these are very easy to get out, and just wiggle it out there. This is what we're trying to get out, is this little pin. And then we'll go ahead and take the other one out. A little difficult to do this on camera, but not too bad. There we go. Okay, so now that we've popped the pin out, this piece is going to come off. We're going to set that aside. This is the piece that we're actually after here. It's right here. Okay. So this piece, we're going to take a drill bit and you're going to measure it. This one's 91 thousandths in diameter, and I'm going to go ahead and drill right through here by hand and just ream it out. It's not that much. Like I said, it's 20 thousandths difference or so. And we're going to go ahead and drill it all out, get it nice and loose. That's going to give us this extra play. See how the pin just moves in and out now? It's going to give us that extra play that we need so that when we push the windows against that bumper assembly, it's going to push back, give us a little bit of relief, and get those windows closed. Then just going to go ahead and put it back together in the reverse order. Again, going to try to do this on camera. It's not exactly the easiest, but we'll try. And I'm really hoping this does help people out. I know I was a little frustrated with mine when I purchased it. My KO actually came in very, very good. They just had a few little nicks. I was a little worried because I saw the horror stories on some of the people who received theirs. Just looked really, really bad, and I feel bad for all of those people. Hopefully, you know, the people you bought them from, TF Direct or Uncle Billy, took care of you. Otherwise, if you did get stuck with one, hopefully you find a good customizer that can help you out for a decent price and get your KO fixed up for you. Go ahead and get this other pin in here. Like I said, not exactly the easiest thing to do on camera. But it can be done. So go ahead and get that pin pushed in. And since we didn't ream out the areas in here, it's still a little tough to get those pins pushed in. So Those pins are going to stay in. They're not. There's no risk of them falling out or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that, which is nice about the fix. Like I said, only drawback is now this piece is easier to move. So we close that up. And then I don't know about your guys' KO, but when I close mine up like this, gets a little scary. Trying to push that in. I'm afraid that's going to crack at any minute, but hopefully not. So then go ahead and close up the windows. I have to go ahead and, oh, there we go. Get them massaged into place there. Like I said, it does take a little bit of massaging, but as you can see, the windows do close up very nicely. Not too bad. So hopefully this helped you out, and you guys can possibly use this on your other KOs, or maybe even your real MP-10s if you're having that same issue. So this is Autotron Prime for ATP Designs. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it helped you out.